That was a quick meeting. Ay, ay, ay. Can you hear that?
No.
Okay, good. It's my messages are like dinging whenever they're all like coming in. Oh, ay, ay, ay. You must be helping John Cunningham.
I am. I'm Robin. He sent the link to me and to Helen, and I came up as John. So I hope I don't mess anything
Well,
up by.
yeah, because they have the, yeah. So you're supposed to log in or, from the website and we could promote you. They get panelist links. They get different links.
Oh, okay.
So
Should
that's
I?
why it has their names, because they're sent from me as panelists.
So I can pop off.
Nope, that's
And
fine. I mean, if
you
you're going to
sure?
you're going to be presenting, right?
Helen and I, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Helen? Hi. I'm just going to change. What's your last name? Because I'm just going to change it so you don't appear as John Cunningham.
There's the real John.
There, sorry, it took me a little bit to get onto the thing. How you doing?
Well, thanks.
It's Helen Bosch, Bosch.
Bosch.
I'm not
Thank
quite
you.
sure why it's letting me be John Cunningham, but
Because he shared his link, so
that's what it
that's
was.
John's
Okay,
panelist link. And when you do that, you come up as the person
I see. Okay,
whose link it's meant for.
thank you.
Okay, whenever Matt's ready.
I'm ready. I don't know why my video is not working, but
Yeah, same here. I'm same thing. Same thing last night to me, and same thing here.
Hit the stop video button, Matt.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, are we all here? Are we ready to start?
Yes, everybody who's on, yes, Aga who's attending is.
Okay. Give me a second. I actually don't have the agenda up in front of me, but my server went down about 15 minutes ago. So
Oh, great.
things are a little slow. I'm not
I
quite
think we're on the
100%.
same line. Ours went down too, so feeling the same.
Yeah. Let's see.
You want me to share it?
Sure. That would be easy.
Okey-dokey.
easier.
There you go.
Oh, great. Thank you, Maria.
You're welcome.
Okay, like to call a meeting to order of ACA. We're the Advisory Committee on Community Appearance, and we only have 3 members here tonight, myself, John Cunningham, which I understand is going to have to sit out for this particular application. There's only one application, but also Alex Province. Maria, now what is the situation with that in terms of us being able to make a recommendation?
You can, I mean, you still can. It's up to
Right.
John if he's going to, he has to be in to open the meeting so we can have a quorum. And then
Okay.
he can, when you vote, he can abstain.
Okay, all right. Well, we have one application. John's gonna sit this one out, right, John? And
Yes,
why
correct.
don't you,
I'm gonna recuse myself. Yep.
whoever's gonna make the presentation should take control here and show us what's going on.
Okay, hi, I'm Helen Bosch. I'm the CEO of Vista Life Innovations, and I'm going to start off. I also wanted to introduce Robin Westerkamp. She is our VP of Business Ops, and so she's joined the meeting today as well. I'm going to start off with just talking about kind of the vision, and then if you'd like me to share my screen, we did email, and Maria, I'm thinking you sent stuff to everybody.
Yes.
We did. Yes, we did. But you
Yeah,
can- you
and I
can
know,
share.
Alex has looked at it, probably in more detail than I have, but, I took a few minutes and looked it over.
Okay.
The one
So
thing I just want to add here is that this is 111 Bradley Road.
it's three,
Just,
it's
it's 3,
three,
105, 107, 111 Bradley Road. I apologize.
correct,
I'm
correct.
supposed to
correct.
say that before we start. So now
Okay.
now I'm done with that. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so Vista Life Innovations is a nonprofit that supports adults with disabilities, and we are all up and down the shoreline, supporting young adults in all sorts of various things, from in their own apartments to work to kind of various programming. We have 2 main campuses. One's in Westbrook and one is in Madison, and that campus is on Bradley Road. And the 3 buildings are 105 Bradley Road, 107 Bradley Road, and 111 Bradley Road. We have been in those buildings. Well, we started at 105 over 20 years ago. The 105 and 107 Bradley Road are owned by the Clark Group, and T. Clark is here this evening. And 111 Bradley Road is owned by Rick Viola and Viola Realty. We've had in the past, and we just renewed long-term leases on all 3 properties. And our intent at this point is to renovate those properties, not to change the use at all of what we're doing, but to really renovate them, both to make them just look better, to bring them up to date, to have a more modern and useful look, but also to harmonize them so that the 3 buildings and the grounds will look connected and look like a campus for Vista Life Innovations. There will be no changes to the actual buildings themselves from the purpose of kind of extension of a building. There's no additions being done. And I think John and T maybe will be, and T, I think you're going to talk a little bit about some of the exterior changes that we're making. But the use is going to be the same. We use those buildings now. They're not residential. We use them as programmatic space. 111 Bradley Road houses our Ventures Business Services. It's a whole business that operates out of there. 107 is our corporate offices and our administrative offices, and 105 is our day program and kind of counseling space that we have there. So that's kind of the use of it. I'm not sure if we should go to T. Did you want to talk a little bit about the kind of the actual upgrades, or would you like me to talk about that? We can't hear you, T. Or I can't anyway.
Yeah, okay.
He might have to be allowed to be into the meeting. He
No,
might not be on the
He's
panel.
came in as a panelist, so
Oh, okay.
he can. There's
Let me
nothing I
grab,
can
I'm
think.
gonna just grab my cell phone. Maybe I can give him a text and see if he can get on.
Because if you'd, oh, he just went off. I'll keep going then at this point, and oh, there he is. I can keep going just because I'm wanting to make sure you guys, I'm kind of mindful of your time. But let me then keep going. Would you like me to share my screen to show you some of the changes? Or yes, are you saying yes, Alex? Would that be helpful?
I
Yes.
am
Yes.
whatever chair wants to do, so.
Yes, I think seeing the drawings while you're talking about what you're proposing is very helpful.
There's T.
Okay. Let me just, I'll share my screen and then we could kind of talk, and John, you could help with this too, if you don't mind.
Okay, do you want to go through the site plan first, Helen, before we get to T?
Yeah, maybe that would be helpful to kind of give them a sense of what we're looking at here.
So everyone can see the three buildings, Matt and Alex?
This is 105, this is 107, and that's 111.
So what Helen was describing at the beginning is what we're really trying to achieve, that the three buildings, A, are not going to be identical in appearance, but they're all going to have some design character that kind of ties everything together, whether it be the roof, some of the sidings or whatever. My job was to try to create more of a environment that felt like all three buildings were one parcel, okay, which they are going to be now. So I won't go through all the plant material. On this particular plan, we're using a new street tree along Bradley Road. We're using an Olcoombe cherry, which is an upright form of cherry. It's going to be in front of 111, 107, and 105, okay? We are leaving some of the existing trees, a hedge maple at 105, a large locust at 107, I guess that's, and a serviceberry in front of 105 also. The ground cover beds will have two different forms of evergreen ground cover. We'll have the low juniper that I've used quite a bit downtown, along with creeping liriope. And the plant material, I won't go through the whole list right now, but all the plant material on the site is considered low, probably from 3 feet down. Nothing is going to get very high because the visibility for the members moving from 105 to 111 is very important. We are redoing all of the walking paths, sidewalks, whatever you like to call them, on the interior of the campus. Our final decision, it will probably be a poured product. It'll be most likely a stamped concrete. There might be areas of just poured concrete depending on the direction we're going and when the pricing comes back in, but all of the walkways will match. So members will be able to walk down the same color walkway from building to building. The crosswalks that are across new asphalt, we are repaving the entire project also, will all be striped the same way that they're really striped in the road. So it will still look like a crossing in a road settle, or in a road application on Bradley Road. So the movement through the campus, we're trying to make it extremely clean for all the members. All right. One little thing I added, the exact same plant material will be at all the entranceways to the building. So 105, 107, 111 will all have a dwarf form of Fothagelia planted on either side of the doorway. I think that will help with communication on where the members are coming in and out of all the buildings also. Couple of little things. We've enlarged an area behind 105 as an outdoor seating area. There'll be some tables back there. There might be, and hopefully there will be, some raised planters that the members can use. We've moved our trash from that area over to 111. Okay, it's enclosed the exact same way it's enclosed over in Westbrook. It is a black chain link with a black sleeve in it. So when members have to bring something there, everything matches a lot of the same campus design details that are shown over in Westbrook. We are putting all new lighting on the campus also. We have a 12-foot light post with, as Mike Ott says, it's bug related, which is the new terminology for full cutoff. So the light fixtures themselves will only be able to shine 180. There's no uplight, okay? They are going to be below 3000 K, okay? They're all going to match. And we've sent a photometrics plan that the town has on record. Maria can punch it up if you want. I don't want to go through all the different light locations, but they're all the same light posts. There are 5 or 6 bollards also of the same fixture. So it's just a lower fixture that will be used at the crosswalks going from building to building. So if it was dark, members could still move from building to building. And I think the bollards are a better use of that along the walkways. Mike Ott is not with us tonight. He did all the engineering on the plan. We're leaving all septic as is. We're leaving all drainage as is. We have 5 or 6 large catch basins that can take all the water from this project. We are adding a concrete curb at the edge of all the parking along the buildings. We are still undecided if we're going to run the concrete curb, which if board members wanted to look at it, it would be the same curb that's used at the train station. It's either going to be a poured in place concrete curb or a precast unit that is set during construction. We're just undecided about whether we're going to run it along Bradley Road, but it will be on the inside of all the building. T, I don't think there's anything else I really want to go over in the landscape. I think I've covered most of it. Are there any questions on the landscape now before we move on to the building details?
No, I just wanted to ask, you said it's all existing drainage and everything. So the impervious area is going to remain the same or thereabouts, right? As to what's there?
No, Matt, that's a good question. I'm sorry. Mike would have brought that up. We are lower on impervious area than there is right now. We've reduced it. I can get back to you with what the number is, but it is lower than what it is because our parking lot has shrunk a little bit.
Okay, no, that's great. You don't need to tell me. I don't really care what the number is. I just, as a general scope, I just wanted to understand that.
Yep. Okay.
Thanks.
So I have a question for you, John. A lot of talk like in town about trees coming down. Remind me, are you going to try to save? Are you going to plant more trees that are coming than what are coming down, or
okay? Good question, Alex. We are planting 7 new trees. We're taking down the crab apples in front of 111.
Yeah.
We have to take down there are 2 hedge maples in front of 107 that are coming down. We're leaving the trees in front of 105, and we're leaving one of the locust trees at 107. We are taking down the large locust tree at 111, and the reason being, it's in a file of photographs. It has uprooted the asphalt on the corner of 111. You can swing in and take a look at it.
Sure.
The trucks are having a hard time getting into the loading zone. And if you look at my plan, we have members walking down along 111, across the loading zone, and up to a rear area that comes out of 111. We have to remove that tree to get rid of that root mass in that particular area. That was one tree I really liked it, but when we all discussed it, it really did have to come down. And we are, as I said, we're using hedge maple. It's all on the plan. We're using hedge maple, which is on the property already. and a variety of cherry that I've started to use in Madison called Okun, which I think if you research it, you'll see that it's a really nice variety. It's an upright variety.
So more trees going in than are coming out.
Yes, correct. Yep. Mhm.
Good.
So those are the cherry or the crabs that are all coming down. Unfortunately, they're all in decline. So we're going to add new in front of all the stuff on Bradley Road. I think it'll look terrific.
And that'll all be cleaned up too. All the ground. I mean, that's like a lot of crab grass now.
That whole Alex, that entire bed gets changed. It goes back to a ground cover. If you look at the front of 111, that's Sargenti juniper. No, back to the Maria. If you could go back to 111. Well, that's Vinca minor. We're not using Vinca minor. The plant on this entranceway to 111 is Sargenti juniper. That's what we're using along the road. That is the best plant, salt tolerant, drought site tolerant. We are not putting irrigation at this property. We are going to have water available at Bradley Road, but I'm confident that it will be better than the Vinca minor that is here right now.
Hey, John, didn't you do a plan several years ago for the violas on that to redo the landscaping, or did that never happen? I can't remember.
Matt, we never really got into it. I did it in 2005. It was for a new signage to Viola marketing and changing some of the green. We never got to the landscape.
I thought we had something like 7 or 8 years ago, but I could be wrong. I know we had some other little applications in with them, but it's not important. So that's all old material. It's been there a long time then, right?
Yes, absolutely correct. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It was really more or less greening up the front of the building of 111, which we decided from a team standpoint to leave the majority of the front of a 111 as a wash stone surface. Rick Viola like that. We are adding some green elements, which I think are really important by the front door.
Okay, no, I think so far this sounds really great in terms of bringing the three properties together. I think it's a wonderful opportunity to see a nice upgrade there. So.
I'll jump on that, Matt. I think that the other thing that we're really looking for representing Vista is that these are kind of hallmark properties for us. We have a lot of our members and our adults with disabilities as well as guests come through there. And we want it to look, I don't know if you've ever seen our Westbrook property, but if you guys ever get a chance to see it, it's right behind the Westbrook Congregational Church. There's kind of a white building back there. And we wanted something that kind of replicated that kind of campus, really nice New England look. And the other thing that we did was we also looked at what the town is doing with the downtown center area and the main Boston Post Road. And so the lighting here, there's a picture of the lighting I could show you later that it kind of replicates what is a little bit what's downtown. It's kind of that New Englandy kind of look. We tried to keep in keeping with that.
Okay. All right. John, why don't you continue, I guess?
Matt, the one thing I failed to mention that I'm looking at it now, there will be a 2-rail fence running from the beginning of 105 in front of 105, breaks for the driveway, obviously, runs in front of 107, and the same fence will run in front of 111. That's just to make sure that I think the fence will help tie all three buildings together. Thank you for whoever put that back up. There'll be a post with a metal rail between it, okay? We are also, one last thing, we are also have shown on the plan as we're putting a bus shelter in on the outside of 107 that's going to attach to the sidewalk, because as Helen will point out that there are a lot of members that use the bus service. So we're giving them an area outside to actually be out of the elements if they are waiting for the bus also.
Well, it's a safety feature because we have a bus stop there right now.
Yep.
And the bus stop is, it's just an open area on the sidewalk. And it's the designated area for the River Valley Transit. And so what we want to do is to kind of make it a little bit safer, have it be a little bit more focused. And then there's a little bit more lighting behind it that'll occur.
Okay.
Safety. It's pure safety.
Is that a purchased product, that bus stop, or is that?
These are the state, so the River Valley Transit we'll work with River Valley Transit on getting it. It's their look. It's the one that,
Standard look, okay.
it's the standard look. We don't purchase it or build it. We go through them and then they designate what goes in there.
Okay.
Alex, one more thing that I know you'd probably like to know about. We are installing a new sign at 104. I'm sorry. We have an existing sign at 105, and we are installing the same sign at 111.
Yep.
So there are two ways in and out. Is that correct, Helen?
Yes, I can share the photos of those signs if you want. Hold on 1 second. Unfortunately, for some reason, whenever I'm sharing with you guys, I'm not being able to see you. So I wanted to kind of pull it down. So this is this is very similar to what we have there already. There's one on the 105 entrance, and then we're going to have a similar one on the 111 entrance. So it kind of bookmarks the three properties. It kind of designates what it is that's Vista Life Campus. Each of the buildings, and that's the lighting that will be to highlight those signs. The signs will be the same size as the current signs are, so there's no change in sign size. And then the signs, we are putting signs, we have built signs on the buildings already, but we want to make those uniform. There's 3 different looks of the 3 different signs. So these will be the signs for each of the buildings. So they'll look uniform and they will look kind of cohesive amongst 3 buildings. And this is all classic art colors, Vista Life colors, kind of the font and everything that you see here is very in keeping with our overall look.
Okay.
What do they get mounted onto? I don't remember what the signs look like.
These signs, so if I show you a picture, let me just bring this down and go to overview again. And tell me if are you seeing a different picture? Are you seeing the building or are you still seeing seeing the building?
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see the sign here, so the sign would go over the door on, this is 105 Bradley Road. And then this is 107 and the sign would be here next to the doorways through the main entrances. And then on 111, it would be over the main entrance on 111.
Does this bridge us? Are we? Is it okay, Matt, to talk about the siding colors now, or do you guys?
Well, yeah, I mean, so if John or somebody can just tell us, so you said, I think that can you just list the architectural changes? So you've got, is it new siding or, or it sounded, I think you said the roofs are all going to become more uniform.
Yeah, T, do you want to talk about it? Do you want me to?
Can you hear me now? Hello, everyone.
You can,
Yes.
yeah.
Hello. Yes.
Excellent. My apologies for the technical difficulties. Sure. Yes, this is a perfect screen to have up. 105 Bradley Road. We're proposing cobblestone gray roof, new roof to be installed, and the flagstone color certainteed vinyl siding. The trim will be white in color. We will be installing new windows, but they'll be white vinyl windows, which match the color of the current windows.
Okay.
Wonderful. At the next slide there, 107 Bradley Road, matching cobblestone gray roof with the existing clapboard siding to be painted sterling gray, and the board and batten skirt along the bottom in slate color. The trim also being white, the posts and the trim.
it's kind of an offset color. It's the middle building and it'll be a slightly lighter color than the grays on either side.
Right, and the Rick's building, the third building, I don't think Rick's with us. But that would be, I believe, the same, painting the existing siding, the same flagstone color to match 105 Bradley Road. As Helen said, complementary colors, the outside, two outside buildings matching and the middle building complementing in color.
Is that getting new roof also?
No.
No. I just saw that. I
No.
just see the sample there. So it's already a gray metal, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that'll stay the gray metal, which is fine. Okay.
This is just a look at, this is a picture of it. So we took a picture so you saw all of the roofing and the colors.
Yeah.
The concept being is that the two outside buildings will be a slightly darker gray with white trim, and then the middle building, which is the administrative building, this one will be the lighter sterling, like almost a silver sterling gray with a darker accent color at the bottom where the batten is.
I think that'll look nice. I never was really enamored with the color scheme on that middle building personally. I think that'll really help pull it together.
Yes, thank you.
Mhm.
So I agree. So I'm glad Matt spoke first, because I liked Matt. Historically, what style is that building? And it's like the ochre and brown trim, but was that not period for that house, or?
Well, it's not that old a building, is it? I think it was just built
In 2004.
2004. Yeah. So it was
And
done just with some, some period details. I think it's trying to sort of look like a train station type building with its big overhang and the brackets was what I always sort of surmised. But, it doesn't matter. I think it'll be, and I think they were probably trying to use colors for that time, maybe I think I really think this will look good, what you guys have shown here.
That's correct. This was the former Madison train station back in the 20s and 30s. And
Really? Okay.
Yeah, the concept was to make it look like, continue to look like a train station building. And the colors that it is now were modeled after the Valley Railroad Essex Steam Train.
Oh, okay.
Railroad. And that's what was approved in 2004 when we built the project.
Yeah. Very interesting. Okay.
So I guess to further my point, I find these colors like cold. They read cold to me versus the colorful train station type colors before, and just shows like taste. I guess Matt wasn't crazy about it, but I like the cheerfulness of the colors, and especially like this time of year when it's depressing outside. Were there any? And I'll trust Matt because he's a professional at this. But are there? Does it read as cold to anybody else? I mean,
yeah. Well, just Alex, my personal opinion is irrelevant. I think it's just my personal taste, that statement. I don't think. And I'm just pulling up on my own computer here. I'm looking at the street view of that building currently. And I'm not really sure what it is that, I never thought was, I don't know. It just never really appealed to me. I honestly think it was the roof color as much as anything. And I think, which is just because there's a lot of roof. I just thought it was, what I find is sort of comfortable asphalt shingle colors is very narrow. I admit that. So, but I think it's probably the roof color more than anything on the current building. But I think those are good points, Alex. I mean, I think those are things that, it's really a to each his own kind of a thing. And to just sort of buffer what you said or to bookend it, it's all things gray these days, which I'm battling all the time in my practice. So, but you've already got 111 as this gray building. It's very nice. The texture of the shingle gives it a nice feel. It's a transitional design. It's sort of contemporary in a way. And, and I think, I don't think there's anything wrong with going gray with the other building But I think it's an interesting point you make about the lack of color. I think it's a valid one.
Okay, so what we tried to do to kind of break that up just a little bit is, so again, it's going to be kind of dark asphalt, kind of the parking lot, and then we're going to have these walkways, and the walkways are, and I'm going to need to lean on the guys that are the experts on this, which is T and John, but the walkways were going to be a color that was more like a terracotta color, like not bright, but kind of a warmer accent color that was to kind of stand out a little bit and bring in a little bit of that warmth that you talked about. Because those walkways are going to be throughout the entire space of all three buildings.
So they will
Okay.
be warm. So the color you intend to use will be like a
Yes.
type.
Yeah, it's like a, and I say terracotta, I want to be careful because there's all sort of shades of terracotta. So this isn't the kind of the orange terracotta, but it's kind of that more that kind of pinky or like pinky orangey. That's not really orange, but you know what I mean? That kind of, I'm terrible at this. You guys have to help me with it, but it's that kind of a, like it's a warmer color, you know. And the reason to do it was because we wanted it to stand out and we wanted to bring in a little bit of those warm tones. So that kind of brown, orange, terracotta tone we thought would be a nice way to add that in.
Is it similar to the terracotta that's on that's below that wainscoting, below the windowsills on the first floor now? Or what I'm seeing in an old
What's it
Street
below
View
the
photo?
windowsills? It wouldn't be that red. That's
Okay,
more
okay.
red. But this would
Yeah.
be more like a Spanish tile. You know, like a Spanish tile is kind of that
Yeah.
a warm
But-
color. So we had been looking at those kinds of colors for the walkway design so that we could bring in that kind of unique look, that warm look.
So I love that idea of the continuity of all the paths and tying the properties together. I think that'll look really great. And against the dark pavement, I can see how it'll be inviting to follow the sidewalks along. But I do like the white roofed or the gray roofed building, 111. So that I think Matt had asked, that gray will stay.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
it'll just get painted instead of being, because I kind of like this color scheme because it feels coastal to me, but that'll go darker to match the other buildings,
The
correct?
Met 105. And
One-
I have to be honest that I think the printed renderings of this are slightly off. So the color is not as dark as the 105 color is, and it's not as light as this color. It's kind of somewhere right in the middle.
Are these supposed to be renderings of the actual colors or?
Yeah,
Oh, they are. Okay.
it's as good as we could do.
Okay. Well, I love this color. So I think this looks cheerful, looks cheerful to me. But where it says roofing shingles, disregard that because this won't have shingles.
Alex, which color is it you saying that you like?
What's on the screen right now?
Oh, you like this color. You like that color there.
I like the rendering of this building versus the rendering of that color on the other two buildings. So to your point, all three are supposed to be the same color, just being shown differently.
So this one's different. This
Okay.
one's the one that's gonna actually be lighter.
So
You're gonna
this-
have a much lighter look of this building. It's bigger, it's gonna be lighter. And then the two on the sides, the two side buildings will be a slightly darker shade of gray.
Okay. Even though 111 now is reading as lighter than this, it's just
Yes.
a technology issue.
Yes, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, Matt, I trust you on this stuff. I think what all three buildings tied together and connected and landscaped and lit will be dramatically improved.
Yeah, well, I think it's interesting that what I was unaware of was the history of that building having been the train station. And I guess if I think back to going to some sort of a chamber thing at Vista a few years back, I kind of remember the inside of it being being kind of interesting, and I completely forgotten about that. But so I mean, I think that there's you know, there's perhaps a reason to think about why it was designed and the colors that were selected originally. That it's something I think that might want to be considered. I think that, in my opinion, that scheme that exists there now, the roof just kind of sends it over the top for me. And I think changing that roof to gray, just that would do a lot to unify the buildings. However, I don't feel strongly that it can't be exactly what you're showing us on the screen now. I do like getting rid of that orangey terracotta below the windows and going to something a little darker, like the rendering suggests. I think it's fine, So I really don't want to. Every building owner and property owner should be able to select the color they want for their building, period, in my opinion, generally. So unless it's going to be something just so wild that it'll stop traffic, And I think what you're showing us right now is very much in the in the spirit of current trend, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And I think it goes a long way toward this unification goal that you have. So I would kind of say, Alex, that unless they want to put some kind of for historical reasons, put a stake in the ground and keep this building more varied, I think it's fine what they're showing.
Great.
Yeah, and my only suggestion would be, I mean, you guys do what you want, but the playfulness of the train station and those colors, I just think is an opportunity that you could use, considering sort of the campus. And it's always, in my opinion, as an artist, I just like warmer, more playful colors, and you have an excuse with an old train station to have a reason to be more playful. But then again, to Matt's point, maybe it annoys people driving by.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't, that doesn't matter. I'll tell you one thing, just to throw a little design technical light on this. That building has got a very interesting and active shape to it. And most train stations, of the era were just a single roof, simple form, and they would dress them up in, some kind of a more exciting color scheme. This building has a lot of form that generates a lot of interest. And I think it was the combination of all these different bright colors and this cross-gabled roof that I think made the building kind of jump at you these last 20 years. And I think that actually, Alex, you may find that you're not going to lose anything with this in terms of its character. It might actually just sort of calm it down a little bit, because it is an interesting form. It's not just a simple box of a building, and sometimes what you want to do with that type of a building is, only have 3 colors, keep it simple. It sort of has a way of unifying the whole thing, in my view. So
Matt, would any and I hate to use this word, but like any jewelry, like lighting, just add another layer of interest? I mean, on the front door, like just 2 cool sconces of like a historical nod or something, or I mean, I feel like it just needs a little something, but
yeah. I think those things always help, for the most part. So I
hate to spend other people's money, but
yeah, I mean, I think that's something, if they were trying to make a real architectural statement here, but they're not. They're just trying to do something that really helps to identify that they're in all 3 places with this uniformity, and I don't think that they're on a mission to create a little jewel here. But I think I don't know. I think it's good. I think it's a good point, Alex, and maybe one day they will. Maybe somebody will donate them.
yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, there you go. So is there anything else to this scope of what you're proposing that we don't know yet, or?
I don't think so.
Nope.
Here, Is there anything that I'm not talking about?
Helen, I think we've covered it all.
I think so.
So I'll just say I really like the as Alex mentioned, the pathway system within the three sites. I think that's great. And I really think it's going to be a nice improvement to have all the landscaping and everything along there upgraded and more consistent. I think it's going to really pull together three very different buildings, you know. What do you think, Alex? Is there anything here that you would want to, anything more, you know, you'd want to add to a motion about, you know, that we recommend that this go forward, or?
Well, so lighting, I like it's 3000 K or less, and I like it shining down. Will they be turned off at some point at night? I don't know if that's our purview, but is that something just for night
All
sky
lighting,
neighbors?
all sign lighting usually has to be off at the close of business.
Okay. And as far as lighting up all the parking lot, does that, because you have the hearth across the street, I don't know if maybe they'd appreciate darkness.
Property, I would say, generally speaking, is at the latest, like between 8 and 9 o'clock at night. It might very well go to 8 or 9 o'clock at night, but at 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, all of them being on timers, you could certainly close down the lighting or dim it to a point where it doesn't affect the hearth across the street.
Great. Well, Matt, to answer your question, I think they did a good job. So I don't know. I can't think of you guys covered everything. I like that you're adding more trees because like I said, I just know people are in town are more conscientious of that. So if they see trees coming down, you're going to have people wondering what's going on. So it's nice to have be able to say we're putting in more trees and more vegetation, cleaning it up, and you know, environmentally the lights are going to be better, and it's a step forward for the town. So Matt, to answer your question, I'm good with it.
Do you want to make a motion?
Sure. So I make a motion, we approve it as presented.
Okay. I'll second that. And any discussion, Alex, or are we good? I'm supposed to ask that question.
Yeah, well, short of just, I wouldn't mind if you wanted to spend a little time on colors. Just, I mean, you know, just for fun exercise if you get bored tonight. But I know you guys are presenting on Thursday, but maybe there's an opportunity out there to like do something interesting. But anyway, aside from the color. So
Okay. All right. All right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you very much. I think it's going to be nice.
Guys,
Thank you.
thank you so much for all your guidance. That was really helpful.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Where am I here? I still have. Oh, Maria.
Yes.
I think I've recovered to the point that I have my own agenda that I can look at here.
You just have minutes now, which if,
Yeah. Okay. All right. So John's back in.
yes, Mr. Cunningham's back in.
Has
I'll make
anybody,
a motion to approve the minutes.
okay, could you hold
I
on a
was going to
second?
say, could we postpone till next meeting? I didn't get a chance to read them, and there's only a couple of us here.
Yeah, I haven't read them either. And yeah, is that a problem, Maria, for any
No,
reason? Or?
we can carry him over to the next time you meet.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. I think that's a great idea. So moved.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Is there anything else here that anybody wants to talk about, or are we good?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Well, here a second.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. All right. Have a good night, everybody.